Edward Ahmed Mitchell. He is a National Deputy Director at the Council on American-Islamic Relations and joins me live now from Philadelphia. Thank you for being with us on the News Hour. First, let me get your thoughts on King Abdullah and Trump's meeting, particularly the change in the king's tone towards Trump's plans for Gaza.
Look, I think every country in the region, including Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Egypt, have made it clear that the idea of displacing Palestinians from Gaza is a non-starter. It's just not going to happen. It cannot happen. I think the king, in his meeting with President Trump, took a diplomatic tone with the president, which is expected. But I'm sure that in his private meeting, he made it clear what their position is. And in the public statement he issued afterwards, he made it clear that displacement is not an option. It just cannot happen. The Jordanians are not going to accept 2 million Palestinians. The Egyptians are not going to do it because they know that would mean the end of any prospect of Palestinian state and would spark a massive backlash from the Muslim world who want to see a Palestinian state. So it's just a fantasy, and I think King Abdullah knows that.
How much leverage do you think Trump has on the likes of Egypt and Jordan to make his plans a reality? Because it seems like Trump is chipping away at any sort of objection from the parties that this is going to affect the most.
Again, I think President Trump, if he wants to do this, there's only one way to do it, which is to force Egypt to open its borders and accept millions of Palestinians, and Jordan do the same. And they're clearly not going to do that willingly, so he could try to withhold aid from them. But again, the consequences of withholding aid are going to be far less than the consequences of going along with this cockamamie plan. So I really don't think there's anything the president can do to make Jordan and Egypt go along with this idea. I mean, short of invading their countries, which he's not going to do, they just cannot be forced to do this. So as long as they hold firm and refuse to cooperate, this fantasy will remain what it is, a fantasy.
And how is this being received in America, Trump's plans overall for Gaza, and the fact that he, during his campaign, said that he was going to be the one to end all wars, but this seems like it's going to begin an even bigger or lead to an even bigger conflict that we're seeing at the moment.
Look, during the campaign, President Trump said he was going to put America first, not Israel first. And he said he was going to end these forever wars, not start new forever wars. Invading Gaza, occupying Gaza would be the forever war of all forever wars. This will lead to decades, generations of conflict because the Muslim world would never accept the Gaza Strip being taken away by the United States and turned into a beachfront resort. And so I think some of President Trump's supporters are actually not happy with this idea because it flies in the face of what he said, which is focusing American resources here at home and not sending our men and women overseas to die in stupid wars. And so I think that even among President Trump's supporters, there is opposition to this idea. And that's another reason why I think this idea has very little chance of becoming a reality.
Okay, Edward Ahmed Mitchell, thank you so much for being with me here on the News Hour and sharing that insight with us.